Question: if acting is supposed to be fun, why do so many stars insist they can't stand watching themselves? Samuel L. Jackson calls that out, plain and simple. He loves the ride, he loves the spectacle, and he thinks honesty matters. We're breaking down 7 cases where those two rules, enjoyment and honesty, collide with Hollywood's favorite humble brags. Who aligns with his philosophy, and who looks pretentious by comparison? Keep watching for a clean, no-filler countdown that tracks his stance to the exact moments it clashes with his peers. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1. Bruce Willis. 2 action leads, 1 New York chase. On Die Hard with a Vengeance, Samuel L. Jackson showed up like a live wire, pushing pace and cracking timing, while Bruce Willis kept it lean. Short replies, calm between takes. A presence that stayed contained. Fans were curious if that quiet rhythm clashed with Jackson's first rule: enjoy the work so the lens catches it. According to long-circulating set chatter, Willis liked minimal fuss and a tighter circle, which can read as distant. Jackson, by contrast, treats momentum like oxygen. He's said the audience feels when actors are actually having fun, and his whole approach comes from loving big popcorn energy since he was a kid buying tickets and soaking up spectacle. So the partnership clicked on screen. Snappy banter, forward motion, big ride, yet it still spotlights Jackson's metric. If the joy doesn't travel, he rejects the vibe. No matter the star power, their team-up passes because the rush made it through the camera. The next flashpoint isn't silence at all. It's language, loyalty, and a director he openly backs. Number 2. Quentin Tarantino. Here's the twist. Jackson doesn't just handle Quentin Tarantino's boldness, he plugs into it. Their work together shows why Tarantino belongs here. The director splits the room, but Jackson treats that style like home turf. Because the payoff hits the audience where it counts. Tarantino's dialogue and thorny language stir debate, and Jackson steps in, not to smooth it over, but to stress impact. He leans on story and the charge it gives a theater. That tracks with his roots. I always liked the movies, from the time I was a kid. He's never hidden that he loves the spectacle and the feeling of a packed crowd reacting. On Tarantino's sets, the culture is movie love as a working principle. Jackson's honesty matches it. He has said, "Everybody likes watching themselves." That candor keeps the work grounded in entertainment, not posture. So Tarantino becomes the exception that confirms Jackson's rulebook. Truth about loving cinema invites real fun on camera. And when charm leans on denial, the next test shows up. Number 3. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds sells charm like it's a superpower, and the snappy banter makes it easy to forget the industry habit Samuel L. Jackson calls out: actors pretending they don't watch themselves. The jokes land, the metatone works, but the wink can slide into that polite dodge. Jackson's second rule is simple: admit the narcissism, or it reads fake. Reynolds has done the self-deprecating tour, talking about testing bits and shaping timing, then slips into the softer claim that he doesn't live in playback. That's the tightrope. Jackson said, "Everybody thinks it's cool to say, 'I hate watching myself on screen.' Well, that's bullshit. We're in a narcissistic business. Everybody likes watching themselves." He also backs big, crowd-pleasing films, which is exactly where Reynolds lives. When Reynolds admits he screens cuts, hones punchlines, and retools a gag until it kills, he's closer to Jackson's ideal. Drop the pretense, own the process, and the respect follows. Not every old friend gets that grace, though. Number 4. Lawrence Fishburne. 2 powerhouse voices, often paired because the craft pops when they speak. So why include Lawrence Fishburne? Because his boundary is different. He has talked about not watching some of his work, keeping space in his head, so the next performance stays clean. That's not shade, it's a method. Samuel L. Jackson takes the opposite tack. He's clear about it. Everybody thinks it's cool to say, "I hate watching myself on screen." Well, that's bullshit. We're in a narcissistic business. Everybody likes watching themselves. He buys tickets, sits with the crowd, and chases that was awesome jolt. According to his approach, self-viewing isn't vanity. It's part of delivering for the audience. Fishburne comes up through heavy stage discipline, build the role, protect the mental room, move on. Jackson grew up mainlining movies and loving the spectacle. Different routes, same destination. Give people a night worth the price. So this reads as respectful divergence. Fishburne's boundary feels honest, not postured, which is why the door stays open as the conversation shifts toward intensity and image. Number 5. Christian Bale. Christian Bale's total immersion reputation is legendary, and apparently it can swallow the whole room. The question is whether that intensity fits Samuel L. Jackson's 2 rules or pushes against them at the edges. Bale has said he avoids watching himself, and according to long-running chatter, he keeps laser focus on set. No distractions, no fluff, just the work. Jackson's stance is blunt. We're in a narcissistic business. Everybody likes watching themselves. He also says, I dig watching myself work, and he buys tickets to sit with audiences. He believes if you won't watch your own work, get another job. That's the clash. Bale's commitment looks monk-like. Jackson treats enjoyment and honesty as part of the craft, not the enemy of it. Fans were split on whether Bale's approach reads as joyless or just private. The mini payoff is simple. The talent isn't the issue. The posture of detachment is. When the energy doesn't invite the crowd in, Jackson sees a missed connection. Now shift from intensity to versatility, and how public honesty shapes respect. Number 6. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is a performer who treats playback like homework. He studies tape, checks the timing, and locks the rhythm before the crowd ever sees it. That habit lines up with Jackson's second rule about honesty. Don't pretend you don't watch your own work. Own it and use it. In a town where pretending to avoid your footage sounds classy, Foxx talks process. He reviews takes to nail musical phrasing, then applies the same precision to film beats, tightening pauses and punch-ins so the laugh or gasp lands. On Django Unchained, that mattered. The set demanded exact cues, and Foxx leaned into the repetition not as ego, but as craft tuned for the audience pop. That's the thing. Foxx loves giving people a show and doesn't apologize for aiming at pleasure. Studying playback isn't vanity for him. It's a tool to make the fun show up on screen. He earns the nod. Next up is where superstardom, prestige, and honesty sit in the same chair. Number 7. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio carries the prestige tag, but apparently he's in the edit bay more than people think, leaning in on dailies, takes, and structure. That's the setup for Samuel L. Jackson's honesty test. Do you actually watch your work, or do you hide behind the polite line? According to the chatter around his collaborations, DiCaprio sits with directors, reviews options, and tweaks the shape of scenes. Prestige peers often say, I don't watch myself, but his reputation points the other way. Engaged, repeat viewings, and a hand in the cut. Jackson's stance is clear. Everybody thinks it's cool to say, I hate watching myself on screen. Well, that's bullshit. We're in a narcissistic business. Everybody likes watching themselves. He also argues, you expect people to pay $12 or $15 to go and see you, and you don't want to see it? I don't think so. So DiCaprio clears the bar. Prestige without the pretend. He watches, participates, and signals care. Time to zoom out and spell the rulebook Jackson is enforcing. Jackson's line is simple. Enjoy the job and be honest about watching yourself. He said, it should be fun to do. I can't stand to watch myself on screen. Well, get another job. He also adds, everybody thinks it's cool to say, I hate watching myself on screen. Well, that's bullshit. Everybody likes watching themselves. Now your turn. Who actually lives by that? Drop names and receipts in the comments, especially from current releases or awards chatter. If the joy reaches the lens and the candor reaches the mic, Jackson's got time. If not, he's already on to the next great popcorn moment.